Hi, my name's Tatum Barber, and I'm going to be talking about the ancient Greek Olympics. How many of you like to watch the Olympics we know and love today? Well, we can thank ancient Greek society for introducing the concept of Olympic-style events. Ancient Greece is something that has always interested me, so when I first found out that they had the first Olympic-style events, I was curious as to why they decided to start this and what their reasoning was. I soon discovered that their purpose was to please the gods, and in order to do this, they had a grand opening ceremony. They participated in extremely difficult events, and they devoted every aspect from location to every single event was devoted to some form of god. The opening ceremony, or the inauguration festival, was the first competition. It was seen as an art competition between the trumpeters and the heralds, and as their performance was concluded, the athletes would get introduced, and some of the events would be introduced as well. And the athletes were forced to take an oath of sportsmanship, where they would be under a stone statue of Zeus wielding thunderbolts, and they would be over a sliced boar. And the reasoning behind this oath was to ensure that competitors didn't do anything to ensure they had an unfair advantage or disadvantage over competitors. One example of a unfair advantage would be taking performance enhancers, and one example of an unfair disadvantage would be placing a curse or a hex on the opponent. And it was believed that cursing or hexing your rival was an occurrence because there's many instances of athletes not being able to make it off the starting block and being stuck in some form of trance. And these events would be extremely difficult in order to showcase strength. Some of them included boxing, wrestling, javelin. They introduced the first concepts of track in some of the Olympic events we know today. If you lose this event, you were seen as weak and shameful, and society disregarded you. And in some cases, if the event called for it, if it was a life or death battle, then you would be the loser that was the sacrifice, resulting in your death. If you were the winner, however, then your status would increase and respect of those around you would increase. And winners were seen as a link between the mortals and the gods. Some people took this so seriously, in fact, that there was this one instance of an athlete who was recalled winning thousands of wreaths, and there's many statues regarding his likeness, making him resemble a godlike figure. In fact, these events were so tough that competitors would have to come 1 month early to the city of Elis, where they would train and perform in gruesome tasks in order to ensure that only the best and the most fit for the gods would be competing. And they would weed out those competitors that they felt were unfit, and it was a very tedious task. And everybody in society took this event so seriously that if there was any wars occurring on the fourth year, the event, then all wars would be halted, and to ensure that travelers could safely get from point A to point B and make it to the temple, because they wanted to respect everybody's right to worship as they want. It was a temporary union between many kingdoms and many empires, and they devoted so much time and effort to this that they turned a temple, a place of worship and seen as peace, they turned it into a small and controlled battlefield to devote every event to their gods that they all worship. They based everything around the gods. One example of this event would be the pancration event, which is a mix of martial arts and boxing, and they incorporated this because they believed god Theseus performed his own version of this performance when defeating a fierce minotaur in a labyrinth. So they devoted everything to Zeus, the temple of Zeus. They saw him as the leader of all mortals as he competed to the throne of gods and the father of humanity, and he won. And because of this, god Heracles staged the games in honor of Zeus, and they believe that the events that were participated in the first events, actually the competitors were gods. So that's how serious they took this. And the incorporation of gods and rituals in every aspect of the Olympics really shaped how the ancient society perceived this Olympics. It called for peace, and they didn't see the violence in the events. They didn't see it as an act of disregard for other nations or other people. They saw it as an act of devotion to the gods. And I believe that if ancient societies didn't take it as seriously as they did, then the Olympics we know today would not be as highly praised and as highly anticipated as they are today. And I believe it is due to the worship of gods, the incorporation of very difficult tasks, and the seriousness that all society devoted to this event really shaped the Olympics today. Thank you.